actually did it. I actually made this coat. This was totally out of my comfort zone. I bought the pattern at a secondhand store for $2. Then I decided, I sat on it for a little bit because I wanted to, it's a nice coat, but I'm like, it looks like a blanket wrapped around you, which is a misconception entirely. I decided, let's make it. I like the coat. I know there's a great design in there, so I found some denim that I have. This is a wonderful design. It doesn't matter what you would have made this out of. You can make this out of burlap and it'll be perfect because the design and the concept is amazing. It's creative. The fit is beautiful. There's no restrictions in the shoulder. There's no restrictions because you could make it as tight or as loose as you want in the stomach part. It's a beautiful coat. I've only been sewing for 5 years and it's usually the normal, you know, cut the shoulders, sew the side seam, do the collar, but this one had different things that took me out of my comfort zone. There were errors made. I will show them to you, but the coat itself is beautiful. I love it. I've actually brought it to work and this one woman, she may have just been very nice and said that she would want one in denim as well, but I'm like, I don't sew for other people. It's too stressful. I just like to make my mistakes, move on, and enjoy what I have. Now let's talk about the ISSEY Miyake designer. He's from Japan and he came out, I think, in the 80s. You can correct me, but he's so creative and his sewing patterns actually increase in value. My mistake was I bought it secondhand, brought it home, I cut out the pattern pieces, and then I decided to go online to see, oh, I wonder what these resell for. $75, $100, because so many people want to collect them, and I know why now. I actually want more. So if anybody would like to donate one to someone who's not going to resell it, who's actually going to keep it and make the product, I'm the one. Recut, any size. So you wrap here. There are tassels in the original one, which I didn't do. I don't have a grommet, is that what it's called? And with the denim, I didn't think I really wanted to do that, so there's a button inside, which is a great idea. So it buttons up here. You'll notice that there's an extra piece of blue fabric over here, right here. That would be because I cut a hole here. I did it wrong. The way they explained to cut the pattern, the fabric out, one piece you were supposed to turn over to make it fit, the fabric. The others you were supposed to leave face to face. I didn't understand that, so I made it all both face up, which put the hole in the wrong spot, and I'm like, that looks weird, but you know what, just keep going. And I didn't notice until I actually had to sew the pockets on that they were wrong, and then when I realized the pockets were wrong, I thought, this big blue piece is going to be wrong, and it was. So I just put the pattern piece back on the fabric, cut the hole where it was supposed to be, which is here, and just covered it up, because that's what you do when you learn, you just keep going. So you're going to find your piece here. It goes up to the button up here. Bring the collar down a bit. Find your string, which is here. Find your other button, which is up here. If I had a mirror, this would be a lot better. Alright, so here we go. Wrap it around. The thing too with this coat, I don't think that you want to have the back snug against your neck like we normally wear a coat. I think the collar is to go more over the shoulders, and then you would place these as you like it. Again, you can have the sleeve up or the sleeve down, but I kind of like it up, so I might roll this one up. Just gives it a bit of a cuff. The grommets or the little tassels would have gone on the ends here and on the ends here, so there would be little tassels hanging there if I did it that way. Once you lift it up, it actually pretty much stays in place. I don't know, you might want to fix your collar up on a colder day, but like I said, the collar itself doesn't sit against your neck. You pull it back so there's an opening, so if it was a cold day, you could wear a scarf underneath it just to keep your neck warm. This is more of a winter coat. When I made it, they had an outside piece an inside piece and a lining. So there's another piece of fabric in between all of this, which makes it 3 layers, which was a lot of cutting up for me and a lot of fabrics to keep track of, upside, the wet sides up, and I got through it. But I love this coat, and this is an open thank you to ISSEY MIYAKE to say your creativeness, your concepts, your vision is wonderful. This is a beautiful coat, and like I said before, you could make it out of burlap and it would be beautiful. I sew with what I have, and I happen to have denim, and I actually love it in denim, and I hope I'm not insulting the designer at all, because it's just a beautiful pattern made out of denim that I actually will wear outside. If you have this pattern, make it. It takes you out of your comfort zone. It makes you learn some techniques that I never knew. I had to actually look online a couple times to learn a couple of techniques. And just keep going. Don't give up when you make a mistake. Just keep going, fix it. That's my theory, is fix a mistake, don't throw it up because it's wrong. It makes a conversation piece if you make a mistake. There's a few mistakes I made. It's a great pattern. It's a lined coat, below hip or lower calf, has bands forming collar and neckline, no side seams, inside button loop and pockets, button cording closure and longer than regular length sleeves, a contrast right side, left side sleeves, inside pockets. Let's talk about how ISSEY MIYAKE came into my life. I was watching Viv Mom Sews, and she was showing a pattern haul, and she had one of these patterns. She talked a bit about him. I had no idea who he was, I'm sorry to say. So I went to a Goodwill store like that week, and I saw this, and I'm like, what? She was talking about him. That's a cool coat. I'm gonna get it. It's $2. I may never make it. But the more I looked at it, I kept looking, this concept is actually really a great idea. I don't know if I can do it because it's a Vogue pattern, which probably is a higher level of sewing than I am. But I thought, one step at a time, use fabric that you have, and I made it. If you were to think of the concept, it's kind of like a large rectangle piece with sleeves that wraps around you and ties up. It's like wearing a blanket. It's so comfortable, and it has lining inside, so you can have it as thick or as thin as you want. The weight of the denim is a little bit heavy, which is good for a fall winter coat. If it was winter, you would probably wear a scarf to keep your neck a bit more warm, because it is an open neck concept. And it doesn't sit against the back of your neck. You actually pull it so the shoulders are a little off on your shoulder. What do you think? I think I did a good job. I'm going to attempt to make the short version. I've made my notes. I've looked at the pattern. I've cut out the pieces, which I have ready. I'm going to make it out of denim. Now I'm doing number 1 piece, and I've run out of fabric on a straight line, but I have pieces, so I'm going to sew to extend the arms. There'll be a line here to extend the arms, and then I'll have a little bit of fabric to do the other pieces. But because this is the bottom of the arm and the cuff area, I'm okay with that. We've started the pinning part of the process. We are going to pin the bands, the top front band and the side bands together. They should all be dark blue, but I did run out of dark blue denim, so I put some light blue on the top and the bottom. That should be dark blue. Because there's so many pieces, I have 8 pieces I'm working with. I have put the cutouts outside of each section so I know where to find the sections. And this is the one that's concerning me, because this 7 I thought was the main part of the coat, but now I think it's just the lining, but I'm not sure where that goes yet. I haven't figured it out. What's confusing is front and back. But when you cut it out, they call it the lining, and then there's the underlining, and then the contrast colors. The contrast colors I can figure out, but when they say lining on this, I'm thinking inside, but I think it's the outside, and that's where the 7 comes in. But it looks like the 1 is what I'm putting together on the floor there. And I think that might just be the top part of the coat. I'm not sure, I haven't figured it out. I'm just going to keep plodding along one step at a time. Right now I'm just putting the sides together with the center part. Underlining. I think I realize what they mean by underlining now. This is how unexperienced I am at sewing. I couldn't understand why they had me cut out 2 different colors fabrics, which is fine, 2 different color fabrics for the sleeves, and then another sleeve. But where's that going if this is my lining? Turns out lining, I think, means the thickness or the thinness in between the 2 layers of fabric, which will keep you warm. So if you want to make it a heavy coat, you would do a thick lining. This could have been a white lining or like a thicker, heavier lining. I thought it meant it's going to be the inside of the coat. Turns out it means what's going to go in between the 2 layers. So it'll go like this, and this is what actually keeps you warm. That is what underlining means. I only used the bed sheet thinking it's just going to be the inside of the coat. That's what I thought. That's why I thought I'd get a nice one. Oh, it's going to be the inside of the coat. It's going to look so good. You're not even going to see that because this is going to go on top of it. And that's going to be the outside of the sleeve, and that's going to be inside of the sleeve, and this is the lining. Actually, it's the underlining. Now I notice focus a little bit more when they tell you the right side of the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric, interfacing, lining, underlining, underlining, lining. Got it. Here's my basting roll. Anything that I do basting for sewing, this is the thread I use. It was way bigger, and I can't wait until it's really small because I would have used the whole roll. It was something I bought secondhand for a couple of dollars. So number 7, being the big piece here, is the outside of the coat. So this is number 7, which isn't sewn together yet. It's the outside of the coat, and I did put a U for underarm and S for shoulder because I didn't want to get it reversed and confused. So once I sew this seam in the center of this one, it should help out a lot. So this messed me up, and when I was doing it I thought it was a mess up. Number 7 is the big piece that I have here, and with this star here it says without fold, with the right sides together, fold fabric crosswise, cut fold from salvage to salvage, keeping the right sides together. Turn upper layer completely around so nap runs in the same direction. Turns out it only meant it for number 4, but I did the same with number 7, which now means this is what I have. This is what I have. 2 holes, pocket on the wrong side because I put it on the other side thinking it went there. I have 2 options. I can leave this side like this, which is fine, or reverse it, put the dark side here, cover up the hole with fabric, and bring the pocket to probably the other side, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse it. This is when you get to say it is what it is, because it is what it is. I don't have any more fabric. I am going to put the dark blue on this side, make it match this side, and cover up the hole. And this is when you don't abandon a project. You fix it, and you know you made a mistake, and you still wear it. So here we go. We're going to switch it around. So this is what it should look like. This hole's in the right place, which means there has to be a hole put here. Pocket I think I can leave, and I just need to cover up this hole. So cover that up, put the hole here, and I can go forward. I'm surprised that the pocket doesn't have to move, but it does, because look at the slits on this side. So I have to put the slit on that side, right? Yeah. Okay, so I just have to change the slit. I got this. I got this. Oh, there's a hole in the jacket. Dear Eliza, there's an extra hole in the jacket that shouldn't be. Let's fix that hole, dear Eliza, so it matches this side. Dear Eliza, it'll be. The slit that they left open for you to turn the whole coat around is here, which is and so this is above the neck where it's going to fold over, so it won't be as seen. So I like that idea too. This coat turned out way nicer than I could have imagined. There it is. The pattern pieces, the ones that are semi-open are the ones for the shorter coat that was made, and then the ones standing on the top right are for the longer coat. On the left side, I rolled the cuff up a bit because it is a little long, and someone suggested that, and it actually brings out the dark blue if I want to roll up both cuffs, but on the right side facing us, the cuff is down, and that's what it would look like down. If I was to open up the coat, you notice it's like a large rectangle. 2 pockets, and the third blue on the right is a hole patch I had to cover up because I made it wrong. When you want to put away your coat, they show you a great way to fold it up. Take the one side, fold it into thirds. Take the other side, fold it into thirds. Put the cord in. Take one arm, fold it over. Take the other arm, fold it over. Of course, you would take out all your creases. You get the general idea. Take the top, fold it down. Take the bottom, fold it up. That's how you would store your coat. And I made it. I made an ISSEY MIYAKE Vogue 1859 pattern that looks, to me, pretty darn good. So if you think I did a good job, that's great. I would appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and maybe a new subscriber. Maybe I'll make it to 400 soon. That'd be great.